Congress is fast-tracking the bill that could lead to a ban on TikTok. House Speaker Mike Johnson is bundling the legislation into his four-part foreign aid plan. It would require TikTok's Chinese owner, ByteDance, to sell the popular social media network. If there's no sale, the app would be banned in the United States. The latest version of the bill would give ByteDance 9 months to find a buyer, with a potential 3-month grace period. And now there are no more congressional obstacles standing in the way of a potential TikTok ban. The last key holdout, Democratic Senator Maria Cantwell of Washington, says she will now support the legislation. For more on all of this, let's bring in CBS News congressional correspondent Scott MacFarlane. Scott, what ultimately led Cantwell, Senator Cantwell, I should say, to change her mind on the bill?
Well, what's shifted in the bill, John? I mean, they've kind of extended the time frame, haven't they? The initial plan was 6 months for TikTok to divest or have itself sold from its China-based owner or face this ban. Now the calendar is expanded to 9 months, possibly 12 months, giving the president a little discretion in there, too. So there's more bandwidth for TikTok to do what it has said, what it has told CBS News might be impossible, which is to promptly, in short order, find a new owner. I mean, it is remarkably lucrative and remarkably valuable. There aren't a lot of people sitting nearby with the billions and billions of dollars that might be needed to buy TikTok. This offers more time, and to a degree, it offers an opening for more senators and members of the U.S. House to get on board.
And how fast could we see this bill move?
Well, if they make this a part of the foreign aid package, where it is right now, this could move quickly. I mean, the foreign aid package could be approved by Saturday. That's the money for Ukraine, the money for Israel, the money for the Indo-Pacific region, and this TikTok provision, which has already passed the U.S. House in a different incarnation. If it goes over to the U.S. Senate, I ask, where's the opposition? I mean, the Senate Intelligence Committee, the bipartisan leaders of the Senate Intelligence Committee, both swiftly said this is a good idea. The Senate Commerce Committee, which has oversight over all types of things involving social media, now has its chairperson saying this is a good idea. The opposition seems to be invisible at this moment. This is a moment of inflection for TikTok and its tens of millions of users.
And picking up on that transition, speaking of moments of inflection, Speaker Johnson says he plans to hold the vote this weekend on that four-part foreign aid bill. We talked about this on Wednesday night. Which of those bills are challenging? And the particular question, of course, is on the Ukraine funding, which might be the most politically tricky for within his own conference for Johnson. How's that looking now? Here we are on Thursday.
You've zeroed in on it. The Ukraine funding is the one consuming so much of the conversation here. I mean, Mike Johnson has got quite a balancing act here. He's trying to put down a revolt in his own party from his fellow Republicans concerned about, among other things, Ukraine money, and get all the votes you need to pass this bill with Israel money, Ukraine money, and the other components we discussed earlier. What a balancing act that is. And what he's arguing tonight is that some of this money is a loan, some of this money will help U.S. defense manufacturers, some of this money is in the U.S. interest. But, John, that has not satisfied those critics, including Marjorie Taylor Greene, the Trump ally, the Georgia congresswoman, who again today told us she's still considering moving forward with her effort to remove Johnson. And issue number one, when she discusses this, is Ukraine money. So, despite the tonnage of House members and senators who would vote for this the second it gets on the floor, this is the sticky issue for the embattled House Speaker.
And what can you tell? Apparently there was a tense moment between the Speaker and some of the far-right lawmakers in his conference on the House floor on Thursday. How did that go down?
The debate today is over the rules of the House. Some of Johnson's allies floated the idea of making it harder to oust him. Let's change the rules and take the provisions away that let a Marjorie Taylor Greene singularly call for a vote. Some of the Freedom Caucus members who haven't been spoiling to oust Johnson still said, we can't change the rules. The rules go back a long time. Changing the rules is dangerous in its own way. Mike Johnson put out that fire. Despite any animated conversations on the Hill today, he said he doesn't support changing the rules either. He wants to survive this. He wants to survive this with Republican support. It's going to be difficult.
Yeah, one challenge at a time for him. Scott MacFarlane on Capitol Hill. Thank you so much, Scott.